a video on something I've been curious about for a while. So I've been faffing around with a whole chuck, a beef chuck today, and there is something called the chuck eye steak, um, which I kind of heard about, and then I was curious. I'm sure it's got another name as well, named after an American city, I think, or maybe not. Maybe that's another part of the chuck. But I've been curious about it for a while, and as I was prepping a chuck for something else, I kind of thought what we'll do is we'll root out the chuck eye steak, and we'll give it a cook and see what it's like. Because normally with chuck, I just use it for braising steak and pie meat, and it's very delicious, but it takes a long time to cook. It's full of flavour, but it's not something I would associate with kind of frying like you would do a normal steak. So we're going to have a go, and we're going to see how it turns out. I'm going to cook it on the barbecue outside because you have to cook steaks in hot pans. Well, you don't, but you have to sear them in hot pans. That's another video I want to make about something else. Maybe I should cut another joint off. But anyway, it's by the by. I'm going to do it out on the barbecue because you have to get pans stinking hot, and I don't want a smelly kitchen for today. So I'm going to cook it outside on the barbecue. It is essentially where the I'll just season the steak. So it is where the ribeye joins the chuck. So where the kind of like where the ribeye stops and the chuck starts, it's the very very end bit of the ribeye, which is that bit there, if you kind of imagine. So it's that bit there, which is the end of the ribeye. There isn't that nice bit of fat that you get with the ribeye going through it, but not to worry. So I'm going to cook it in the barbecue. I'm going to cook it quickly. Plenty of salt and pepper, and well, maybe not so much pepper because there's no pepper in the pepper mill. Why is there never any pepper in the pepper mill? Do you know? And then when I can never find the pepper, I did have some pepper. I know I did. I don't know about it. You know, maybe a bigger pepper mill would be a good idea. So there's also different rules about different people say differently about when you should season meat. Some people say before, some people say after, some people say a long time before. So each your own, and in my eyes, do what you want to do. It's entirely up to you. But the idea is that if you season like an hour or 2 hours before, then the salt has a really good time to penetrate the meat, and you lose kind of some moisture, but you're going to lose that moisture through cooking anyway. That's the kind of basic idea of seasoning before a long time beforehand. And then you can also brine meats as well, which kind of draws meat moisture out but then pushes it back in. All kind of quite interesting. And yeah, I really should do some brining some stage. I really should do that. Maybe a bit more pepper. Anyway, so I'll cook the steak and then we'll see how it is. It's cooked, it's rested. Let's have a look. Do you know, barbecued steak always reminds me of Spain somehow. I don't know why. But anyway, this is the only bit that we're really interested in. So let's have a see. That feels pretty tender, does that? A little bit too pink for some people, but kinda depends where you want to cut your meat from. Looks alright, does that? Let's have a taste. And it's a little bit chewier than most people would like. I mean, there's a reason why they don't include it in the ribeye, you know, and it's a chuck eye. But it's loads of flavour to it. I mean, if you prefer to go for flavour over tender, then that's lovely. No, hadn't been the chuck hadn't been actually hung for particularly long. If it had been hung for, sorry, I'm eating with a mouthful. If it had been hung for longer, there'd be more flavour, and it would be tenderer. That's nice, is that? I think when I'm faffing around with chuck in future, I'll be cutting that little bit of steak out for myself as a bit of chef's treat. But anyway, out of curiosity, that's the chuck eye. That other cuts of steak from it. Maybe we'll have a look at those next time I'm faffing around with the chuck. But I wonder what that's like. We'll try what this bit that was attached to it was like either. See, that's nice as well. That's nice as well. No, there you go. Don't ask me where you get one from, or your butchers might be able to get you one. Don't really think they're going to have them in the supermarket, but that's nice. I'm going to enjoy eating the rest of that.